Throttle body upgrade with adapter plate, you're going to want to go ahead and do the manifold method. So take the intake manifold out and then install everything that way. Leave the airbox in place. You don't have to do anything with the trunk. Throttle body upgrade with no adapter plate. Leave the manifold in place. Don't do anything there in the engine bay. Just take the airbox out, remove everything from the trunk, right? The liner and everything, the access hatch and all that, and do it that way. So just trust me. You're about to get into a video that was a nightmare. But yeah, so that is the biggest lesson of all.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hard Park 703 channel. So it's another Saturday that is just gloomy. It's really cold outside. It's windy. No point in washing the car because nobody wants to cruise around in this kind of weather. So I'm going to install something else. We are finally to, in my opinion, I would say the big boy stuff. No more air, at least not for now, but no more air on the outside or anything like that. This is a mechanical performance part. So we're going to dive into all that. But before we do that, let me show you something.
So I decided to pick up an iPhone 16 Pro Max. I haven't upgraded my phone in years. I'm currently using an iPhone 13 Pro Max, so that was the last time I upgraded. The primary reason is because the audio is not sounding too good on this phone anymore, at least when I'm playing back everything. I don't know if it translates into the videos that I'm uploading, but regardless, it's horrible. And then I'm also having issues with sometimes pictures upload. I don't know, it could just be me. I might be uploading the pictures incorrectly to like Instagram and stuff like that, and then it completely will make the picture quality just, it's not as good. It's not, the resolution isn't as good as it is on the phone when I'm looking at it, and then when I upload it, it looks like garbage. So anyways, ended up going with a new phone. So I have to transfer everything over first to the new phone, so then that way I can pick up this video.
I meant to say pick this video back up, but I need to do all that before I continue with the video. So hopefully it's a quick transfer. All my friends have told me that you can put two phones together and then it just like completely swaps everything over that's on your phone right now. You don't have to do it through iCloud. If that's the case, then hopefully it's like 30 minutes or less. And then I will pick this video back up because I don't want to continue filming on this since I told you there's horrible audio quality when I play back.
Oh, cool. All right, so I ordered the, how do I get this thing out with one hand? Okay, ordered the natural titanium color, I guess, which makes sense. Cool, it is. Looks like it's securely packaged. Apparently this thing is a little bit bigger than the phone that I'm filming with, so I couldn't use the current case, so I had to order another case. So yeah, I guess same layout and everything. I mean, it's got a new action button, I hear. I guess that's the action button. There's another power button, I guess. And there's 3 buttons. All right, well, I have to get used to it. But anyways, all right, cool. Hefty, nice. Okay. And then I guess now it's USB-C, so that's why I ended up ordering these, because everything else is now useless, all the other cords that I have. Oh, but get this. Check this out real quick. So I ended up making this license plate. I didn't make it from scratch. The plastic came, right? Like I ordered the plastic one, but I put my decals on it. So that's pretty cool. I wanted matte black, so then that way it just blends in with the matte black graphic that I have in the rear. Currently I have a Nitrous Express one on there, but it has so much writing on there and it says Nitrous Express, so it's kind of misleading, like as if I'm running Nitrous on there or something. I know they make a lot of other parts for it, of course, but I'm just saying this is a little bit better. This is red and white, right? And that's kind of like the other colors that I'm using on the vehicle. So I think this is going to be great. So we'll put that on too. But yeah, all right. Anyways, let me transfer everything over. And we're back. All right. So that was really easy. Apparently, you literally just put both iPhones together and it just transfers everything over. It's super simple. Didn't even take, I don't even think it took like 25 minutes. So in the meantime, I gathered all the things that I'm going to be installing and whatnot. But yeah, I played back a portion that I filmed with the iPhone 13. And yeah, there's definitely noticeable sound distortion. So I do apologize for that. I know that's been happening in the last couple videos and stuff like that. So I've tried to elevate my voice so then that way it kind of like carries over the static interference or whatever, blah, blah. But yeah, so now we're on the new phone. So there shouldn't be any issues whatsoever. So yeah, so just gotta, I guess, take off the case or whatever, blah, 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 and then just send this back into the carrier. So I can get my money for this, and then that way I get the discount on the phone that I got.
Check out what we're going to be installing.
All right, so what we got here is a C7 ZR1 95 millimeter throttle body. This is going to replace our existing 87 millimeter throttle body that we currently have on the vehicle. Here it is. So here is the AC Delco 95 millimeter throttle body. You can see that it's ported in there. Not just that, you're gonna see, we're gonna put the 95 millimeter next to the 87, and you're gonna see how much bigger this thing is. But it should offer an increase of at least 15% increase in airflow. So how do I know this? Because it's funny. I had this thing on my C7 Z06. So I had the 87 millimeter, right? Then I upgraded to the ZR1. Luckily, it was straightforward, bolted right up, and took it for a spin. And I mean, it was just a noticeable, immediate difference. And so then after that, we made the big boy jump to the 103 millimeter. 103? 103, 104, 105. Whatever, it's in the hundreds. But that's the one that I currently have on the C7 Z06 right now. And so, I mean, I used this thing for maybe, I don't know, a couple months. And so I barely put any mileage on this thing. And so I've had it laying around. Luckily, I never sold it and stuff like that. So now I can use this and I can swap this onto the C8, and it's a straight bolt on. So let's get into it. There's a lot to talk about. First things first, it was really dirty. So I cleaned it out, and then I lubed it up slightly. And I am going to emphasize slightly, like I'm talking about a smidgen. I used just a little bit of my gun lube that I have, and then just a couple of these wipes. I literally just put a dab right on each corner, and then just like one dot right here, one dot right there, and then one dot along this edge right here, and then I just wiped it down. You do not want to oil a throttle body. It is a bad idea to oil a throttle body because it can collect pollutants and everything, blah, 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 and it can impede the airflow. So that's why I literally, you could barely even see the dots. I just wanted to clean it up or whatever, and then just slightly lube it up just so that way, just nice action happening, nothing getting caught and everything. Why am I really big on nothing getting caught? Because this is the AC Delco one. I trust this one. This one worked beautifully and everything. I still have it. It's downstairs. I had the upgraded, I guess it was the 103 millimeter one from Solar Performance for the C7 Z06. And that thing crapped out on me. I heard apparently it was possibly from a bad batch that they had sent out to people. I wasn't the only one. I saw it on the forums. And so it crapped out, and then my car went into limp mode, and I had to get it towed to More Automotive, and they had to figure all that stuff out, and it just, it was a bad experience. I know Solar Performance is a great company to work with. They're very wonderful people. They're very nice and everything like that. It just left a bad taste in my mouth, so I did not want to go with the 95 millimeter throttle body from Solar Performance, because apparently the 95 millimeter from... Great, my cat just jumped up. Hold on. Sorry about that. She's really needy. All right, so the Solar Performance 95 millimeter throttle body, it's ported to the efficiency of, I guess, 100 millimeters. Yeah, 95. Yeah. So it's ported. So the this bottom part right here looks to be the same, and then they've ported it out up here, like they've cut grooves into it. To allow more airflow. Great, that's awesome. I'm sure it works. Here's the other part of the story of why I chose not to go with that one as opposed to this one. Over the fact that I literally have this. It's free right now. It's at my house. I don't feel like buying another throttle body, and then what the heck am I gonna do with this one? I mean, yeah, I could sell it, but I just want to put it to good use. I mean, this thing worked great, so why not start with this thing? But yeah, let me mention one more thing. The Solar Performance one, I've seen videos on YouTube. People have had problems with the Solar Performance one if your C8 is stock. My C8 does not have any other performance parts. This is going to be the first mechanical performance part going on the vehicle. So if you do the 95 millimeter one, right, the actual C7 ZR1, right, the one that's ported to 95 millimeters, you will not have a check engine light. You won't have any issues whatsoever. You can bolt it right up and you are good to go.
There have been many cases where people have absolutely nothing done to the C8, and then they put the Solar Performance 95 millimeter one that's ported to 100 millimeters, right? So it's an extra 5 millimeters of airflow, I guess, increased airflow. And they've had the check engine light come on, and they've had other issues with it as well. It will work perfectly fine. The upgraded Solar Performance throttle body will work perfectly fine if you have other modifications already existing on your C8. So if you have an exhaust or an upgraded intake and stuff, apparently it will work great. No check engine light, no performance issues, nothing. You're good to go. But in my case, why am I holding this tonight? It's heavy. In my case, I have absolutely nothing else done to the C8, right? Like I said, this is going to be the very first performance mod that I'm going to do. So I'm playing it safe, because if I were to install the Solar Performance, let's say I had bought it. If I were to install it, I'm running the risk of the car acting up. And I don't want to do that just yet. I don't want to do that just yet. I don't want to have increased risk for no reason. So right now I just want to play it safe. I know this will pair up well with the vehicle. The ECU will relearn it quickly, and I will have no problems whatsoever. So that's another reason why I'm using this one. That being said, all right, so I've got tons of hardware. I think I don't remember which ones are the ones that came with Solar Performance. I think they prefer maybe these the Allen head ones, the Allen key head ones, whatever. Or you can use these other ones right here that are socket, right? You can just use the socket. So I'm gonna use the socket ones. They're the exact same size. You can see that, yeah. See, they're the exact same size. So I'm gonna use those because that's gonna be easier to get to, and I bought like extensions for the sockets and everything, like swivel sockets and whatnot, so it's gonna be easier to work with. And then you've got the smaller ones. So obviously you gotta bolt this to your intake manifold, and then you gotta use the adapter. I've got two adapters. It's funny because I think this one right here is the one from 87 to 103. And then I think this one should be the correct one, which is for the 95, so 87 to 95. So let me take these out and let's see which one is which. After playing around with it, yeah, it's definitely not this one. This is the one for like the 103 millimeter one that I have, that I had on the C7 ZR1, because these holes do not line up at all. So yeah, definitely not this one. And then it's awesome that I have an extra gasket, thank God. Because a lot of people don't even use the gasket. They just use this rubber seal. But it doesn't hurt to use an extra gasket, you know, just to be extra safe. So this one lines up perfectly. It just goes like that. And then the holes line up and everything, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to secure, basically, I'm going to secure this first to the intake manifold, right? And then we're going to slap this thing on top. So with all said and done, let's get out into the garage and let's knock this out before nighttime, because I definitely want to I want to drive this and test it out and everything like that, because I've already recorded what the vehicle sounds like with the cold start and then revving right before we install this. So now I want to do the exact same things after this, and I would rather do it while we have some light than doing it at night. So now that we're out here, first things first, we got to disconnect the battery. So all we're going to do is just disconnect the ground from the battery. In order to do that, we just got to pop off side panel right here, side panel right there, and then this top portion, there's a clip here, clip in that corner, clip here, and clip in that corner. So 4 clips or whatever, you just pop it out and then bring it towards you. It's very simple. I don't think I need to record myself doing this, but yeah, so just 1, 2, and then the third piece is the whole center piece, and then you just pop it out, pull it towards you. Okay. So both sides pulled out. Just drop them in here. You're not going to use this space for anything, so just drop both sides in there. Once you have this unclipped, you just kind of, see, just pull it towards you. There you go. You're going to take this whole piece, and you're just going to put it off to the side, and then there's your battery. Boom. You just got to get to that right there, disconnect it, and we are good to go. All right, so we might as well go over everything you're going to need. You're obviously going to need a ratchet, and you're going to need sockets. So dealer's choice, with whatever sockets you want. You can do extended, you can do regular, you can do the swivel ones. The swivel ones are definitely going to help you big time. So I would suggest getting a pair of that and getting extensions, blah, blah, pair of that, a set of those, whatever. And then you're going to need Allen keys for certain bolts. So yeah. Oh, and last, you're going to need Torx heads.
So Torx heads, sockets, Allen keys, tons of extensions, ratchet, probably, you probably get away with one of these, but, oh, and you're going to need heat. You're going to need heat for later. We'll get into that when we get there. All right, battery is off. All right, so next we need to, well, we're going to remove this cargo thingy. Anyways, the cargo net. I think these are T15s. So, let me see. Yep, T15s. Okay. So 4 T15s on each side. We got to remove these, and then that way we can take out this liner, and then we can access the panel for the intake box. All right. Now that these are off, this should. Okay. Yep, that's easy enough. There we go. And then what's holding it down here? To take these off. Oh, okay. We gotta unscrew these. So just start twisting these off on both sides. Let's give this a shot. Let's see. Is it literally as easy as twisting off? Yep, okay. And now this side. Let's do these. Okay. Is that it? What, anything else? Let me put these down for a second. Yeah, so the only thing that I was getting caught on were just these two little like grommets, I guess you would say. Just you need a little bit of force to pop these out, and then that way you can get both sides. So yeah, so just go ahead and like leave this in place, use both hands, pop these out, and then that way you can slide this entire thing just up and out. So now that liner's out of the way, here is the access panel. I believe all these are T15s again. So have fun, just get them all off. That was so many screws. That was so many. The whole bottom too. I was looking like where the sun was hitting, and so I didn't see all that. Yeah, this is like 10 minutes later. All right, so now we just pop this off right here. And there we go. See? So you've got full access to it. Let's see what the back of this is like. You would think they would have put like heat shielding along the back of this. I mean, I guess it's just the intake box, but the cats are literally right there. Well, I mean, I guess they put it along the bottom, but they could have definitely put it a lot more on here. So for this little segment, it's all about tabs. Tabs. Why do I say that? Because a lot of people break these tabs when they're trying to remove the stock airbox. So we just got to focus on all the tabs. So apparently tab right here. I guess disconnect that. Tab right there. Then we gotta, like, I guess, unbolt it. Yeah, I guess unbolt this whole center section right here, up this side and then that side, right? And then we can pull this back gently, very gently, because apparently there are so many things bolted up to the back of this, or like, what do you call it, like tabs and brackets, whatever. I mean, let's see if I can see. Okay, this isn't exactly a good angle, but I'll show it as I pull this forward, and that way we'll be really, really gentle with everything. So yeah, just be gentle and worry about all the definitely don't think I'm going to be able to finish this in time with the 2 hours of sunlight that I have left. I'm going to have to, continue into tomorrow, especially since I want this section lit up, right? So it's easier to film instead of me having to put like flashlights in every corner. But yeah, this is going to be a lot. So 10 mils for these couplers, I guess, or whatever, and then you can pull them off. And then you've got bolt there, and then you've got, so you see the bolt right there? Yep. We're going to have to get those off, and then apparently they're on the back side too, and they're not that easy to get to. Luckily, I've got the extensions and the swivel sockets, so that's going to make it very easy. However, let me see if I can show them in the video real quick. And then apparently I gotta get these off, right? So I don't know, I'm gonna try to pry these off with, I guess, a screwdriver or something like that, so then that way I can just pop them off. And then I gotta get this sensor disconnected, right? So, but yeah, let me show you the back side. Actually, it's not that hard to get to. It's right there where I'm shining it up, right behind that silver, put it down
on for a second. All right, right there where I'm shining, it's right there, right behind that the line, the heat shielded line, whatever. Right there next to that orange tab. That's one of them. And then apparently the other one is, let me go around the other side. Are you kidding me? I guess I'm all right. Do you see this this massive fat, like foil covered piece? It looks like a cylinder. Follow the cylinder down to that little elbow, right? And right below the elbow, I mean, I can't get the phone further down. But right below that elbow, right where I'm shining it up right there, that's where the bolt is. How am I supposed to get there? This sucks. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to have to take my time trying to figure this piece of the puzzle out. So bear with me. Main bolts are T30s. So you need that. And then let's add some tools to the list to get those little, what do you call it? Little brackets off or whatever. So you're going to need a trim. Well, you don't need a trim removal tool, but it's definitely going to help things out. So I think I have it in there. I think so. It's right here. Come on, you. Yeah, see? You're going to want something like that. So then that way, you can really pry that piece off, right? It's just plastic, right? But yeah, so then that way you can safely get it off and you don't break anything. Got all the 10s off on both sides. You just pull these out. So that's awesome. That's a little bit of relief right there. This is the easy part. Why? Because those tabs are still giving me a hard time. So I think I'm gonna have to break them off. The brown ones right there, I think I'm gonna have to break them off because I've tried yanking on it and it is not coming out. So I'm thinking just break them off or whatever and then just zip tie these lines back in place. Okay, so that sucked big time. You're definitely gonna want to use your trim removal tool. You're gonna want to wedge it on the edges of this thing and then start prying, and then so you're gonna want to start at this angle and then you kind of like just put it up against this plastic here and you just start prying and it'll pop them off, but they're on there very, very tight. So same thing with that one. And then my mass airflow sensor was on here extra tight for whatever reason, so I used the tool to wedge it in between, and then I held this in place because I don't want to break this, so I held it into the airbox and then I pried it out. So you might not have that issue, but I did. So all right, let's move on to the next part. So the driver's side one is not that bad to get to. It's right there next to the orange tab. You've got plenty of room if you use a small ratchet, right? And so you can get in there. You can get in there relatively easily. However, you don't want to lose the bolt. So get yourself one of those little magnets so then that way you can, let me see if I can do it while I'm filming. Right there. Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, this will ensure that you do not drop it somewhere where you won't be able to get it. So, all right, this side down. Now the tricky side, the passenger side. Let's get to it. I don't know if it's like my design or what, because I mean, I have a coupe and I saw a bunch of other videos and people were complaining that there's like no room over there and there's no room over here on the passenger side and you got to use all these extensions and all that, blah, blah, blah. I literally just bought a whole bunch of tools that I absolutely did not have any use for right now. Look, my small little ratchet is in there with the extension. I've got the light. The light is hooked underneath the coupler right there, so it gives me plenty of light. And then this thing wiggles, so you can move it slightly out of the way, and then that way you can get right to the bolt. And I'm literally unscrewing it right now, absolutely no problem. I got plenty of room to work. So I don't know. I've got a 2023 coupe, so maybe the 20s up until 23s were different or something. I don't know. Maybe they used a different screw or maybe a different orientation. Maybe the airbox is bolted differently. I don't know. But this is super easy to get to. So should be out in a second. All right, well, that was easy. So this whole assembly right here, this whole thing, it's a tube that runs all the way to the other side. You can move all of it. It looks like solid metal right here. Like it is solid metal, but you can move it. It's very, very maneuverable for that matter. So you can just move it out of your way while you're trying to get to that bolt right there where my fingertip is right there. You can just move it all you want. Everything, you can raise it up and everything, and then you just get it out. So that's easy. All right, so now all I got to do is just, I guess, I mean, I do see these sensors and everything, but I've seen in a lot of videos, all they got to do is just loosen this up, right? So loosen up the clamp there on the coupler, and then that way I can pull the box out slightly, and then I'll just focus on attaching everything to the rear. Before we walk to the other side, I might as well just finish up on this side. So there's a tab underneath. Pull that towards you. And there we go. Then on the bottom side is the gray tab that I was talking about. You just pop that back. So technically you would be pulling that towards you, and then you just pinch it. So just pinch it down and then just pull it towards you. You're good. So now let's move on to this side. So this one first, right here. Pinch right where my fingertip is. Push down on it, right? And then pull back. There we go. And so now that's completely off, right? So it's really easy to put back on, by the way. So in case you missed it. Okay, so it's on. This thing's in the way. It's on there, right? So now you just push where my thumb is. Push, pull it, and then there you go. So now it's separated completely. So, all right, now let's focus on these band clamps. So these are 7s, by the way. So 7 right there, and then the other 7 right there. Sorry, the light is tricking the camera or whatever, but you get it. So one right there, and then one right there. So just get your socket and then just loosen them up. I think I'm gonna try loosening this one up first. God, can I just please focus on that? Jeez, I'm sorry, guys. All right, well, anyways, I'm gonna try to focus on that one, and then that way I can pull the box away. I don't think I have to do both, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll update you guys. Getting caught on something when I'm yanking the passenger top corner out. Getting caught on something here, and I'm thinking it's that tab right there in the camera. So I don't see anything else. Yeah, I mean, everything else gives. Everything else like has room to wiggle out, right? Like there's slack. So everything else is disconnected there. Yeah, it's disconnected on that side. So okay, all right. I'm gonna try disconnecting that tab, pulling it out, and then see if it gives. All right. Well, I figured out what's holding me in place. So there are. Let me put this light down here. See if I can use my other hand because. Okay, there we go. All right. So that little brown one down there. Let me see if I can zoom in. Right there. Yeah. So it's holding it here, so there's no more slack. That's where it's getting caught, and apparently it's getting caught right there too on that one on the back side. So I gotta pull both of these out on the driver's side and on the passenger side in there. All right, let's see if I can get those out. Those clips, whatever you want to call them, those sucked so badly to get out. So yeah, I finally removed them from both sides. It was so hard to maneuver in there because you can't, the angle at which your tool sits, you don't have room right here. The stuff's in the way. So you just, oh man. And then you start like warping the plastic or whatever, and luckily I got it off. So I think the box should now come out. I may just have to disconnect a whole bunch of stuff from back here, from the back of the box, because the box is not moving forward. There's too much tension on it. There's the tension is coming from things that are obviously connected to it, of course, duh. But it's like caught back here, and there's a lot of wires and everything running there. So I don't want to yank on it. So I'm thinking I'm just going to start disconnecting everything from the rear. So I'm gonna see if I can do that. Okay, so I've got this side further out. I disconnected whatever these are up here of mine. Okay, there goes the front of the airbox, which I was going to mention. That was the next thing I was taking off to see if I can get to maybe some of these, like this thing right here, that cylinder or whatever. It's in there with like one of those little tabs or whatever. So I'm gonna see if I can remove this, see if I can see it. Maybe it's easier to maneuver, because my design on the back is very different from the videos that I've seen. So my 2023 is different than the, I guess, 2020 model year that I've seen for the videos to install all this stuff. So yeah, things have changed up. So I'm just trying to figure it all out. That didn't help at all, because I just removed the filter and there's nothing here. So everything that's bolted to the back, it's bolted to the back, but you can't see it from in here. So don't waste your time doing that. All right, on to the next step, which is what? Still trying to get off all this stuff. God, this sucks. Well, we're gonna try something. So instead of pulling the box all the way out, because there's just way too many connectors back there, right now I've got room. I can take off the coupler, right? I can take off that rubber coupler. Then I could probably take off the throttle body. So I could take off the throttle body and then install the new throttle body with the spacer, put the coupler on, hopefully I'm saying, because hopefully I have room. I could put the coupler back onto the throttle body and then try to get the box back on. We'll see. I mean, that's a lot to do, but let's see if I can do it from this angle then, right? So instead of working from back here, whatever, let's just work from here and see what I can do. So with the coupler, now I might as well mention it. The only way the factory coupler that's meant for an 87 millimeter to fit on the new 95 millimeter, we're gonna have to heat it up big time. So you're gonna have to definitely heat up that edge, and then you're gonna have to try to fit it over this lip. So, all right, let's take off the throttle body and then let's compare them. Man, I'm tired. Yeah, so this coupler comes off really easily. So you just have to push it back. See, there you go, boom, done, it's off. Okay, so now that it's off, let me get that out, and then I gotta figure out the bolts. I think these are 10s, maybe? Maybe these are 10s. Yeah, maybe these are 10s. And then I hear that, obviously it's not that I hear. Top ones are gonna be easy to get to, probably the bottom ones. I'll have to play around with the extensions, see how much room I have to work with, but at least we're making progress. Hey, ask me how much of a pain in the butt it was to get the stock throttle body off. That sucked. Those two bottom bolts, yeah, they're a pain. They break off super easily, like as in like you turn it a little bit and you just crack them off, and you can spin them out. But the problem is to get your hands in there, and they're in like little tight cubby, not a cubby, but like tight spaces. Yeah, that sucked. My arms are all chopped. So not yet, anyways. But all right, 95 millimeter, 87 millimeter. So smaller than this one. Ooh, that's oil. That's a lot of oil. It's interesting. Is it leaking on the other side? Nope. Okay. Well, yeah, so there you go. So you see this one's definitely clearly not ported. So you can see that inner lip right there along the bottom, right? Along the bottom, it's a little bit more flush, obviously. And then, oops. And this one, clearly you can see the difference. So let me turn them over. Sorry, I'm just really tired. All right, there we go. There we go. That's a much better representation of how different they are. So, all right, so let's put these on. This is the coupler. All right, so it's already, luckily it's already kind of what do you call it, at like the angle that you would need it at. So, but this is the side right here where my fingers are. This is the side that we're gonna need to heat up and try to expand and put over this mouth. So, oh, that's gonna be such a pain. Oh, that's gonna be such a pain. I'm just putting it on here, right? And I can tell, all right. I'm thinking this is what's gonna need to go on first, because there's no way, obviously, we're gonna be able to do that after the fact. So this is gonna have to be done here. So I'll focus on that first, and then we will put on, oh man, with this boot on though, this is gonna be such a pain to get on. Okay, yeah, so we'll put the coupler on first, and then, I don't know, we'll cross each bridge as we get there. So coupler will go on first, then we will focus on the bolts. Dive into that hell. I'm thinking, let's get the, what do you call it? Not spacer. I'm blanking out. The adapter plate. The adapter plate bolted up onto the intake manifold. So let's do that. The problem, this is going to take just that little bit of wiggle room that we had to play with, right? Like I had this much room, the thickness of this, basically to get the coupler out, right? Because that because the airbox is obviously being held in place very aggressively with those with all those clips and everything. So all right, well, let's get this on first, and then we'll move on to the next part, which will obviously be the coupler onto the upgraded throttle body. And then from there, we'll try to put everything back together. And I'm starving, so I'm thinking I might take a break in the middle of all this just to have dinner. The day is completely gone. So yeah, this is not that easy. So just be prepared to take the entire day to do it. I don't know what happened. I mean, like I said, my 2023 is different than the 2020s. So I don't know what year you have, whoever is watching this, but just know that they vary. So good luck. The easiest part of the entire install, bolted up just fine. There's the man, why do I keep blanking? Jeez, I keep wanting to say spacer, and it's not the spacer. It's the adapter plate. Yeah, so the adapter plate. You need a 5, so get Allen key and then a 5. It's all easy to get to, obviously, since you have plenty of room. So, all right. So I'm thinking I'm gonna need to put just a little bit of lube right along this edge. Obviously, make sure it doesn't fall in, but I need to put it right here along this edge, all around it, because, like I said, this is gonna be a crazy tight fit. I mean, you're basically trying to put two things of the exact same size. Like, you're trying to put one thing into the other, and they're both the exact same size, same circumference, whatever you would say is diameter, whatever. And so, yes, I get it. The heat is probably going to help, but I'm going to have to heat this up big time. Like, this is going to take a while, probably. So, all right, I'm prepared, but I'm starving. So if I'm going to be spending all night just trying to probably do this part, I'll probably end it tonight with just this part, because the rest is all going to take a while to put everything back together, and then to put these two pieces onto the adapter plate. God be with me. So added a little bit of lube to the very outer edge. I guess I can focus it right there. Yeah. So hopefully that works. Hopefully that gives me a little bit of a, of assistance, I guess. So I just tried to kind of, swash it around a little bit, so then that way it's kind of on there. But now I'm going to heat this up. I'm hoping the blow dryer will heat it up hot enough, right? As opposed to a heat gun, but I don't know. Because, I mean, this coupler is obviously meant to withstand heat, so. I am a genius. All right, this is what you need to do. Your little box of the pry tools, right? So hopefully you have more than one and not just one style, because you need this type of like crowbar, like pry style, right? Okay, so you need pretty much this angle, okay? Check this out. It fit perfectly. Fit absolutely perfectly. only with the help of that tool, though. There was no way you're getting this on by hand. Absolutely, it's impossible. Okay, so my strategy was, I'm just gonna lay this down on my knee. Okay. So if you're gonna put it down, it's only gonna cover one side, right? The other side's gonna be completely exposed metal. You're not gonna be able to wrap the rubber around all the metal, right? So if you're gonna lay it down, and this is gonna sit flush at the edge, right? Then this whole side is gonna be exposed. It's gonna be exposed like pretty much out to here, right? So what you need to do, right there, okay. So what you need to do is, if you're gonna put this part down, right? And then this is gonna be fully exposed and you're trying to wedge it and jam it or whatever, and it's just not happening. You need to put this tool underneath the lip of that rubber, right? Underneath the lip of the coupler. And you're gonna wedge this little bottom piece up against the lip of the metal, right? And so then you're gonna drag it over. You're not damaging this, trust me. You need to heat it up a lot. Just heat it up. I heated it up for like a good minute, and it really, really made a difference. So you're gonna set this down to the bottom of the base, right? And then you're gonna hook this in, and you're just gonna pull it over this. The hotter this is, the more pliable, more malleable, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be that much easier when it's heated up. So just heat it up a lot or whatever, and then just yank it over, and then you're going to be able to put pressure, and it'll finally sit. And that took, I don't know, 5 minutes total. So I thought I was going to literally be here for like an hour. I thought I was going to stop filming, and then an hour later I was going to pick it up because I was about to give up or something, blah, blah, blah. And that's how easy it was. So I took off the, what do you call it? Not the gasket. Oh my gosh, I suck with words tonight or whatever. But yeah, so I took this piece off, right? So I'm just going to unscrew it completely and then put it back on, because that gives you a lot more room to be able to pry this thing and pull it and everything. So then that way it slides over. So, all right, good stuff. That was probably the hardest part of everything. Let me pause right there, because I have no idea how difficult it's going to be able to put it onto the intake manifold. So, I guess that's the next step. Let's find out. All right, so it's definitely easier to get the entire assembly into the... Was that Alexa? I think Alexa just made a noise. It's easier to get the entire assembly in from the passenger side, so you got plenty of room in here to wiggle it in, right? So you can get the whole thing with the coupler and the throttle body and everything, and you have room. So luckily, I pulled this thing so far out. Had I not pulled this thing this far out, I definitely would not have that much room to play with. So, all right, so now I'm just gonna put that extra gasket that I have right there in the center, and then I'm gonna hold it in place with like one of the bolts, and then I'm just gonna bolt it up, and then we'll go from there. We'll start doing everything in reverse, I guess. So, all right, this is awesome. This is awesome. I got a lot further than I thought I would tonight. Looks like the factory bolts were 10s. And then the new bolts, they're 8s. I don't know why they chose 8 as opposed to 10, but maybe it's easier to work with. Like, maybe there's more clearance, which, I mean, I guess I can vouch for, because I'm able to use such a small little ratchet with the 8. So it does give me more clearance than with the 10. So yeah, but anyways, you're not going to reuse the 10s. You're just going to use your other ones that are 8. Okay, so we have a bit of a problem. I would say it's pretty big. There may or may not be a way around it, so let me show you. All right, so the bottom bolt on the driver's side. I noticed that I was trying to get the bolt into its spot. I guess, where can we see it from here? I mean, okay, let me see if I can... Maybe, I don't know. All right, I'll just kind of hold it there in place. All right, so I'm gonna put my finger where it is. Put my finger, all right, so my finger is right there. Right here, I'm touching the bolt. Okay, you can get to the bolt, no problem. You can get your hand there. The problem is you have to move the boot, like you have to move this coupler out of the way. The rubber is getting in the way of you being able to. So right here, the difficult part is, God, if I could just focus right. Okay, focus. Boom. There we go. Okay. This lip right here, this rubber lip right here is getting in the way of the bolt. So right here where my finger is, and this rubber piece is right there. The bolt is right here where my fingernail is. This is where the rubber piece is. So it's preventing you from putting a socket on there. So you're gonna have to use a wrench. Okay, fine. That's not even the biggest problem. The biggest problem is on the passenger side. Because the lower bottom one is recessed. So right there. Yeah. So let me see. Can I do both at the same time? Can I hold the light and film? Let's see. Oops, I'm zooming in. Okay, not trying to zoom in, but yeah. Okay, so right there, yeah. So you see, that's the bottom one. That's the bottom passenger one. And look, I can't get that bolt in. If you notice, the lip is stuck. The washer is stuck on the boot, on that coupler part. So I'm gonna try to squeeze it past it, but I don't know how I'm gonna get anything in there to tighten it down. There's no way I'm removing this whole thing, though. There's no way. Now it makes sense why they offered the Allen key bolts. So completely forgot that I had an entirely other set of bolts that I could use. So these are the Allen key ones. These don't have the washer. Why am I showing you through the damn plastic? Come on. All right. Check this out. These don't have the washer built in. So these will work. These will clear it. These will clear it on the driver's side and on the passenger side. So I'm going to take well, I don't know if I have to take the driver's side out. I can make it work with the ratchet on the driver's side, but the passenger side is definitely going to have to be one of these. So, all right, let's swap them out. All right, so I had to back out all the bolts and start again. Save yourself the headache and do not start with the two top ones. Start with the two bottom ones. I replaced the driver's side bottom one with the Allen key version of the bolt because it's just that much easier to work with, trust me. So just use the two bottom ones with the Allen keys and the two top ones with the socket, the 8mm socket, I guess. But all right, so remember we were talking about the one in there, the passenger. All right, there we go. Yeah, so the passenger one right there, you can see it right there, right next to the coupler. Okay, so I'm not using the 8mm bolt one, all right? I'm using obviously the Allen key. You need to start with that one no matter what. That's the first one that needs to start threading in because you won't find that, you won't be able to line up that hole. It's such a tight fit, so you need to start with that one, the passenger bottom one first. All right, get that one going, then switch over to the driver bottom one, and then focus on the top one. So I got this one pretty tight, and then I got the driver bottom one pretty tight, and so now I'm gonna put the top ones in. So I assume they're probably gonna line up pretty nicely. I don't know why I just said that. I hope I didn't just jinx myself. All right, so it's fully bolted on. Now I just need to put that coupler, get that coupler to connect to the back of this. So, all right, let's see how that goes. Let me just focus in there. Yeah, so obviously it's on this side, so I gotta shift this towards the driver's side, and I should be able to line it up, hopefully. All right, here we go. So after an entire day of trying to do this, bad news. Box is not gonna go back in place. I mean, it's just not. It's too much of a gap. like, let's see, right, basically, let me move this, okay. That's where my index finger is. That's where the bolt originally went, right? It has to go through this one right here, right? This black piece where the tip of my finger is not going on top of that. There's just too much space. It just won't go all the way back here. I've tried jamming it as much as possible. I'm pretty sure the box is all the way in to the coupler. So I'm trying to wedge it like as hard as possible, and it's just not working. So I can't compress the coupler anymore. And so since I can't compress the coupler anymore, I can't get the box to fit again. And so that leaves me with no choice, but I'm gonna have to remove the intake manifold. So then that way, all this, the whole housing and everything, I mean, everything can just shift back a little bit, and then that way I can get the box bolted up where I have to on both sides, right? Because both sides are evenly, like they're just pushed forward evenly. So I need about an inch in order to make it work on this side and on the passenger side. So I'm thinking maybe I need to unbolt it completely, right? So I need the 5 bolts over there, 5 bolts on their side, where the runners are. And so I guess get off all these brackets and everything like that. And then just lift the back. I'm thinking of just lifting the back of the intake manifold, kind of like, what do you call it? Like lifting it like this, right? So instead of taking it off completely, because I'd have to unbolt it from here, and I don't want to do that because that was just a pain to do. I'm thinking just flip it up from the back, like just lift it up or whatever, you know? So it's kind of at like a 45-degree angle, and hopefully, I mean, I don't know. I don't have much room to play with back there, but maybe I can lift it a little bit and then slide it up against the back. So then that way, that just gives me just that much extra room to be able to line up the holes in there and then bolt them up, right? So, all right. Well, I'll do that in the morning. I mean, it's like midnight right now, so we'll give it another go. If that works, then at least you guys know you can completely disregard taking out the intake box, and you'll just remove the intake manifold and install your throttle body that way. And I'm thinking this is the way to do it. When you're doing a throttle body with an adapter piece, you're gonna have to do it the throttle body way. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to do it the intake manifold way. You're gonna have to take off the intake manifold if you've got that little bit of extra space that's going to be taken up by the adapter plate, right? So if you don't need an adapter plate and you're not using that big of a throttle body, let's say you're going up from an 87 to, I don't know, 91 or something, and I don't think you need the adapter plate, then you're fine. You can just do the box method, right? You just take that out and you should be good. But if you're going to use one of those adapter plates, then you're definitely going to need to, well, I say definitely now because I'm pretty certain I'm going to do this. So, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow morning. Good morning. All right, so it's the following day. We got plenty of sunshine. It's about to be noon, so hopefully I finish this up before nighttime. But let's get to removing the intake manifold. I got to tighten down the coupler, right? So I got to tighten down the coupler on this side. I don't know if I'm going to tighten it down on the side, like where it's on the airbox. Hear me out for a second, because if I yank this whole thing out, if I tighten it down onto the airbox, then that way it'll pull the airbox back, right? So as I'm pushing this thing that way, the airbox will be being pulled by the coupler, so then hopefully it starts situating more into place. If I don't tighten it on the airbox and I pull this away, then yeah, obviously it's disconnected, and then maybe I can just maneuver the box into its spot, and then once I tighten down the box and everything, then that way I could wedge this back, and hopefully the coupler lines up with the opening of the airbox. So I don't know which method I'm gonna go with at first, but we got to get the engine cover off first if we're gonna do the whole method of taking off the intake manifold. So there's a push pin right here. I'm just going to use the trim removal tool to pop this off, so that that way I can just move this line out of place, out of the way. Then there's 2 bolts on each side that I'm going to have to take off, and then that way I can take the engine cover off, and then we'll just start disconnecting everything. Well, this shouldn't be too difficult. There's just a couple things that we have to disconnect, but all the bolts are 10 millimeters, so you're going to want to disconnect this piece right here instead of like doing all this or whatever. Obviously, disconnect 10 bolt right here, pop this off, pull this blue tab up, and then you're going to pinch it and you're going to pull this out that way. So that's one of those. Or I guess, I mean, if you don't want to, I guess you could just use this. Hadn't even thought about using that bolt, but yeah. So I guess either way, it'll work. But I'm gonna try this method first. And then you've got 5 10 millimeter bolts right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So that's on the driver's side. Then on the passenger side, you're gonna disconnect. You'll just disconnect right here, and then you'll disconnect right there where the white is. You see that? You disconnect that line, and then you've got 5 again, 5 10 millimeters, and that should be it. So let me do that real quick, and let's see if this thing starts wiggling. Everything is unbolted, and everything is disconnected on the other side. So I think this thing oh yeah, it's already okay. So see, it's moving the box as well. So all right, maybe if I have any luck, I might be able to lift this from the back and then pull the box up and over where it needs to go, which is right on top of that. So that, where my finger is, this black bracket right here needs to go over this. Right now they're almost at like the same level, so I need to like lift the black bracket up slightly, and then it needs to go here. So I'm hoping if I lift this whole thing up slightly, it'll work. If that doesn't work, if this first method does not work, then I'm just gonna disconnect the coupler from the airbox entirely, take out the intake manifold, and then position the box on its own, and then slide everything back in place. So we'll see. Yeah, all right, so that didn't work. I tried wiggling this back and everything and trying to situate it where it needs to go, but it's not. It's the rubber coupler is just preventing it from sliding all the way back. So I'm gonna disconnect the box. I'm gonna take the box out, and then I'm gonna pull this out. So I'm thinking I might just remove this bracket, since I'm gonna pull it out from this side since I have no room over there. I'm gonna disconnect this, I guess brace. And so then that way it'll give me more room to pull it out. These braces are T30s, but there's a wire clipped to the bottom of it, so you're gonna need a trim removal tool to get to it. It looks just like this. So basically, this thing right here is right here on the bottom. So just gotta pop it off. Go ahead and disconnect as much as possible. So like I disconnected these from the valve covers, and then there was a line that runs around the back of the intake manifold. I disconnected that. So I basically disconnected everything. So the line that I'm talking about that runs behind the intake manifold is it's this right here, right? So this is the driver's side, and then runs all the way to the passenger side. So disconnect everything as much as possible, so then that way it's easy for you to be able to take this intake manifold out. It doesn't seem like it's too heavy. I'm just trying to get all the wiring and everything, all the lines and everything out of the way, so then now it's easy to just pull it towards me. All right, well, that was easy. This thing doesn't weigh a lot. It's not difficult to get it out. You just got to make sure you have room to play with. So I made it really easy to take this thing out. If you leave all those wires in place and all the lines and everything, I mean, you're gonna have to maneuver it out. But yeah, so everything is out. Okay, so there we go. Got plenty of room to work with. All right, so I should be able to put this box into place once and for all. Oh my gosh, I can't believe literally like, what, 12 hours later? So 12 hours total of working, obviously. So, all right. That sucked just as much as the first time, especially the passenger bolt down there. That sucked. That one was really hard to get because you have to move. You have to try to use the one hand that you can get in there to move lines out of the way while you're screwing something in. And yeah, that sucked. But anyways, all of it is bolted back up, front and back. Don't forget to put in all your little like clips and everything. And then don't forget, obviously, the mass airflow sensor right there in that corner. All right, so now that your sensor is reconnected and you put in all the little like clips for your wiring and everything, let's grab these pieces and put them back on. So in that way, what I'm thinking is, considering there's nothing left to be done over here, there's no more wiggle room to play with or anything like that. I mean, I'm just gonna seal up. Well, no, not yet. Not yet. I could use the lighting. So, okay. All right. I'm not going to put these on just yet because the lighting is coming through there. And so that's giving me a little bit extra light to work with there so I can see the coupler a little bit better. So, all right. I'll put the intake manifold. I'll try to put the intake manifold back on. Hopefully the coupler, is able to go on to the airbox, and then I'll start putting all this stuff together. I'm already going to be seeing a little bit of a struggle to obviously put it on since there's going to be a lack of room. Use like painter's tape on the back of this because the back of your intake manifold might scrape up against all of this. So I don't know if it'll damage anything or whatever. I mean, it's just plastic against the metal, but regardless, I just put a little bit of painter's tape on there, so then that way maybe I can, as I'm wedging it or whatever like that, and maybe it's scraping up and down, it's not going to damage anything. To lube it up a little bit. Just lube it up around the edge real quick, and then go ahead and just a smidgen also on the edge right in there. So hopefully that helps facilitate the coupler going on to the airbox. All right, so it is on there. Looks like the coupler is sitting well on top of the opening to the airbox. So I think it's lined up. Yeah. I think it's lined up perfectly. But like I said, look at the rear. The rear is sitting up against the back. So that's exactly why I put that tape there. So now basically I'm thinking I just gotta jam it down, just wedge it into place. So, all right, let's give that a try. All right, I'm not gonna lie, that sucked balls. Okay, let me show you exactly what you need to do. You're gonna have to put all your might into it. First off, I had to climb up into the trunk. This is all fiberglass, so you don't want to crack anything. So just stand on this support right here, and stand on the other one. And then when you're in here, I just get in here, whatever. Okay, so I get in here. Okay, there we go. All right, just watch where you're stepping. Like I said, just don't stand on any of that. Okay, so while you're here, okay, this was still up, right? You need to get that back to settle down along that metal piece back there. I mean, there goes that screw. I think that's just plastic, though. I think the screw's intact. There's no way the plastic would have warped the metal like that. But yeah, so, all right. In order to get this down, right, the back of this, down, you are going to pull towards you, and at the same time that you're pulling towards you, you have to use all your might to jam it down in the back. The front, you have no wiggle room pretty much. You have maybe a millimeter of wiggle room, front to back, if that, okay? So you just need to get this edge down against the metal, right? And so these were completely off center because the back was lifted. So as you're pulling that back towards you and you're jamming it down, you're gonna pop it down. You're gonna just there's going to be so much tension building, and it's like caught on that back line right there and along that metal, the polished metal part, and you just jam it down, and then you'll see it that it fits flush. And hopefully you also see that your holes will line up. If your holes don't line up, I don't know what to tell you, but at least mine did. And so, yeah, that was not fun. All right, so now I'm gonna put all the lines back together and everything. I'm gonna double check, triple check all my work. I'm gonna even quadruple check all my work because I don't normally do this type of stuff. I do bolt-ons. I don't normally disconnect lines and hoses and all this or whatever. This is very crucial. Obviously, I want my motor to start, so I'm gonna double check all the sensors and everything. But yeah, this is what you gotta do. So just make sure you're standing on the supports, and God be with you. It's gonna be easier to bolt this thing down from in here. Okay. Because you're going to be able to see if your holes are lined up. So, because you're going to need to wiggle it a little bit to get each of the bolts to sit down right. So, considering you need this to come as far forward as possible, right? Start with the two front ones. So, there and there. But I couldn't see if they were lined up from the side. So, anyways, I hopped in here. And so, you'll do the front ones, then you'll do the second row, then third, fourth, and fifth row, and that should start situating it more. So, all right, so I've got the front ones on there. They're tightened down, not all the way, but they're tightened down pretty tight. Got the second one on the driver's side. Could not get the second one on the passenger side just yet, so I moved on to the third row. So I've got the third row tightening down nicely. And then I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to see if I can get the back ones without any issue, and then I'll come back to this second one on the passenger side. On a side note, if you don't go to the gym and you don't stretch and stuff like that, I don't know how you're going to be able to accomplish this. You have to like contort and morph your body into awkward positions to work on this thing. So, yeah, something to think about. You might want to start getting in shape. And then I'm fat, so my belly has been resting up against the edge of the fender the whole time. I'm so bruised across my stomach, it sucks. So I know some of you must be bruised. Like, I'm not calling you guys fat, I'm just saying we're not all in super great shape, we're not all thin, so I assume you're all feeling my pain too if you've done this before. So yeah, this sucks.
Everything is torqued down nicely. Let's put the hoses back on, and what else? A valve cover. All right, let's put the hose back.
So triple check my work. All connectors, everything, hoses, lines, everything is connected securely. I pushed down on everything, made sure everything clipped into place properly. I looked everything over on the driver's side and passenger side. So just don't be afraid to triple check your work. Actually, this has nothing to do with being afraid. Just do it, because heaven forbid you forget something or whatever, and then you could screw something up. So anyways, I put the valve cover on, but you have to maneuver it underneath. There's a hose in the back that you got to maneuver it underneath, and then kind of pull these out, and then that way you can situate it better. But yeah, so just check all your work and everything, right? Just make sure all the sensors are installed, blah, blah, blah. So engine bay is put together. Everything is good. Engine cover is back on. So, yep. Everything made sure there's slack where it needs to be and everything, so nothing's getting, nothing screwed up. So, all right. Now I'm going to put the brace back on the driver's side, and then we'll put everything back together here in the trunk. So I'm just really happy that we were able to work through this. So now you have an idea of what it's going to take. So brace is back on. Don't forget to clip in this wire underneath. Put that little clip in there. See if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it from that angle. So yeah, and now on to what we were originally going to do like an hour and a half ago, or 2 hours at this point. Yeah, so we got to put these on and then seal it all up, and we should be good to start her up. All right, little hint, these are marked left and right. So right side, obviously passenger side, and left side, driver side. So they'll bolt right up. If you try to do it in reverse, you're going to clearly see they don't line up. So just, yeah. So once your airbox is good to go, just go ahead and put the cover back on for the access panel. And check this out. Okay, so I was manually, you know, like putting them all back in. And then I had no idea that you could attach the ratchet to the back of this. So in essence, you're making it an extension. This is awesome. This is life-changing for me. You have no idea how many times, like, I couldn't get, what do you call it, like leverage. I could only use this or whatever, and I couldn't get leverage. I don't know why I could only use this. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a situation. But anyways, there were situations where I was just using this, and I was like, oh, I can't get it. My hands are getting sweaty or whatever. And now, look at this. This just made my life. This is awesome. Get yourself one of these. Back on. Everything is good back here. All we got to do is just reconnect the battery and put the front back together, and we should be able to fire it up. I want to fire it up, but I don't know what happened, man. All of a sudden, they're cutting down trees directly across the street of my neighbor's house. So it's just nonstop. Zzz. I'm like, God, you're not going to hear anything for the exhaust and startup and everything. So I'm going to try to find a lull, like in between when they're cutting and stuff like that, and then I'll try to fire it up, and hopefully it doesn't interfere with the video, because I got one shot. It's just, damn it, everything was nice and quiet, and then all of a sudden this team of like 5 people came and just started chopping down all the trees and everything, and so hopefully they leave soon. Sweet. All right, front is put back together. We should be good. Well, in the meantime, I was buffing out a few little panels here and there with little light scratches and whatnot, because I'm trying to buy myself time, because they are going to town. Like, I guess my neighbor is chopping down a whole bunch of stuff in the backyard, so that's going to take a while. I just see guys keep coming with more and more pieces, and neighbors are walking all the way to his backyard to go see what's going on, and they're also interested, I guess, in probably getting stuff done to their house, so there we go. Yep, see? All right, yeah, we're going to wait. We're going to wait for all this sound to go away. I'm going to have lunch right now, and then that way... Yep, all right, so I'm going to eat, and I'll pick this back up in a sec. That is so loud. Wait. You got to check this out for a second. So get this. I grabbed the battery tender, and I was about to put it back in the trunk, and I realized this is the C7 logo. So I guess the previous owner maybe lost the original battery tender, or maybe just didn't order it or something, and so he ordered this online, and I guess the only one they had was C7 battery tenders, right? Like the C7 logo battery tenders, for that matter, because they're all interchangeable anyways. You can use the C7 one on the CA and vice versa, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, it's funny because on the C7, in my C7, I've got a C8 logo battery tender, and now I've got a C7 logo battery tender in my C8. So all I got to do is just swap them out. I'm just going to put this one in my C7 and then the other one in my C8, and that's so funny. I guess I must live a sheltered life, because I am fascinated by this fact. Like, this just made my entire week. All right, so it's go time. Everybody cleared out, and now I can finally fire this thing up, and we can hear it. I previously filmed a cold start before I did all of this, right? Like days before I did all this. And then I took it to a parking lot. I'm going to take it to the exact same parking lot, same exact spot. I was going to say like same exact spot and angle or whatever, just so everything is the same. So I did a cold start on this, right? Before I did the throttle body upgrade. The vehicle automatically starts in touring. I switch it within like a second to Z mode, right? So it's going to start up in touring. So that's the sound you're going to initially hear when the cold start, like the blast, right? So it's not going to be, once I get the aftermarket exhaust on, it'll be a stupid loud cold start blast. But right now it automatically starts in touring. So you're going to hear touring, then I'm going to switch it to Z mode. And then after a few seconds, I'll switch it to weather mode, right? So it's going to be touring, Z mode, and then weather mode, just like in the previous section that I filmed. And I got to film a little intro there, because I don't know how to write in my little segments of the videos, right? Like other YouTube people can do, or everyone else in life can do. So since I don't know how to write on the actual screen or whatever, blah, 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 I'm just going to make a little quick snippet being like, hey, so this is the before, and then I'm going to do another little bit that's going to be like, oh, this is the after. I don't know why I'm narrating all this, but anyways, all right, let's get to it. So check this out real quick. So yeah, so I ended up putting up the new license plate frame on there. So this is the one that I had originally. Just way too much is happening right there. Just all that white lettering and everything. And then Nitrous Express. I mean, people are going to think I'm running nitrous tanks in the back or whatever, you know, blah, blah, blah. To the untrained person, you would say, right? Like, it looks like you're instigating or whatever. But I have tons of parts from Nitrous Express that are nothing to do with nitrous. But anyways, yeah, so I swapped out the so I almost forgot that we got to do a couple cycles. I gotta turn it on, let it run for 3 minutes, let it sit for 1 minute, let it run for another 3 minutes, let it sit for 1 minute, and then we can go drive it. So let me hop in the car or whatever, and then that way I can at least talk about it inside the cabin. All right, so let's start it up, and I'll let it run for the first cycle for 3 minutes. So let's do it. It's going to be in touring, and then we'll put it in Z mode real quick so you can hear what it sounds like here in the cabin. All right. Probably hearing the car raise. Yeah, you're hearing that's Z mode. So I don't know if you can pick it up in the video, but all right, and then we'll just put it in weather mode. So definitely more pronounced. Nothing too crazy, not like as if you installed a complete like aftermarket exhaust, but definitely more of a growl. So all right, let's just let this thing sit. I'm gonna do another cycle and everything, and then I'll pick it back up as soon as we're in between the two 3 minute cycles. I was reviewing the footage of the cold start with the 95mm throttle body in Z mode. That thing is loud. That thing is so much louder than the 87mm stock throttle body. Just comparing the sound clips, that is insane. That is so much louder. Like, I can't wait to rev this up. We're going to see what it sounds like. So you know what the best part is? The fact that last weekend, I just passed 1,500 miles. So now I can rip into it. So yeah, check it out. So I've got 1506 on the odometer. So it's perfect. And then look, no check engine light, nothing. No warning lights, nothing. This is awesome. I love it. Next set of the instructions just say daily drive the car. I mean, it says keep it above 44 miles per hour and let your vehicle decelerate and come to an idle at lights, pretty much. And it says do it 5 to 10 times, so 5 to 10 drive cycles. But in parentheses, it says daily drive your vehicle. So, I mean, after we take it to, right now, I'm going to take it to the spot to rev it a little bit. And then after that, I mean, I got to do grocery shopping and everything too. So, I mean, by next weekend, I should be good. So no check engine light still and everything. So, I mean, everything's looking good. So, all right, let's get to the spot real quick. Okay, so the key takeaway is going to be that the before and after cold start, it's going to start up in touring mode, right? Then we switch immediately to Z mode. And then from Z mode, I switch it to weather mode. So the before and after, they're going to be the exact same. So they start up in touring mode because that's what the vehicle starts up in. Then I switch it to Z mode within like I don't know, like 1 or 2 seconds. You'll hear the difference. And then I switch it to weather mode and you'll hear the difference from Z mode to weather mode. And yeah, so that's that. And then when I do revs, when you see the revs for the before and after, they start because the vehicle's already idling there in the parking lot. So the revs start in weather mode. Then I switch it to touring mode. And then I switch it to Z mode. So there you go. So just wanted to explain that so then that way you guys can follow along. All right, so cold start with the stock 87mm throttle body before I do the upgrade. All right, so cold start with the new 95mm throttle body on. All right, so a few revs with the 87mm stock throttle body before doing the 95mm upgrade. So now revs after I installed the 95mm upgraded throttle body. Yeah, oh my gosh, this thing is so much louder. It's like a night and day difference, and I haven't even messed with any other components at all. This is gonna be, if this is how much louder it is right now, like I'm gonna pan the camera around or whatever, and we're gonna get closer to the exhaust, but I'm just saying, if this is how much louder it is right now with just the throttle body, I still have to do intake, I have to do the catless downpipes, basically straight piped exhaust, because the mufflers are, you can bypass the mufflers. Then what else? Oh, I can do the upgraded intake manifold, and then a tune. So what else am I missing? I'm probably missing something else, but anyways, that's gonna be loud. That's gonna be loud. All right, let's let's get into it. All right, so right now the vehicle is in weather mode, so it's the quietest mode, and I mean, it's got a nice little grunt to it. You can hear the grunt a lot more than in weather mode before. So all right, so now let's switch it to touring. All right, so let's switch it to touring. There's tour. Okay, so we're in touring. Did it make any difference? I can't tell. I don't want to say that yes, there's more of a grunt, but I don't know. All right, let's switch it to Z mode. I'm sure Z mode's always going to sound way different. So Z mode. Oh yeah, I mean, there's now a rumble in my butt. So, all right. Yeah, that's definitely more pronounced. Feel the vibration like that. You can definitely feel the vibration a lot more. All right, so let's talk about how it drives. It's definitely much more peppy, much more, what do you call, I guess you would say it's much more sensitive now to throttle input. So it definitely gets going a lot faster now. So that is a major plus. Like it's a night and day difference, I'm telling you. And then the sound is totally different. I don't know if it's gonna come out, but yeah, this thing picks up so much faster. It's smooth. It is so smooth. So it's not like at super low speeds, I guess you would say, like when I was leaving the parking lot, it's jerky in Z mode anyways, right? Even before I did the throttle body upgrade. So now it's even like more jerky with the throttle body upgrade with the 95mm as opposed to geez, I can't see anything, as opposed to the 87mm one. So that's like you leaving a parking lot obviously in Z mode, so you don't have to leave in Z mode. That's just me. But once you start driving, I mean, this thing moves, and it's such a good feeling. It is such a smooth feeling, and the downshifts are so much more pronounced. And now you can hear the slightest bit of gurgle. Before you couldn't hear like any gurgle or burble or anything like that. You would get some pops, like a very subtle pop here and there, but there wasn't any burble or gurgling. Now there's a very faint sound to it, and right now it just popped going into first. Or going into second. Now it popped again going into third. I know you probably can't pick it up here in the video. And third gear now, for whatever reason, maybe I wasn't paying attention to it before, but it definitely, it feels longer to me. It's like it holds the gear longer. It's probably just in my head, but I'm telling you right now, like, it sounds so good in third gear because it holds the gear longer. But yeah, there's a pop now. Right now there's a pop in every single, when it punches into the next gear, it pops. So that's awesome. Downshifting, it doesn't pop so much. But going from first to second to third to fourth, it pops. It pops. So that's awesome. All right, speed bump. Let me raise the vehicle. There we go. I can go straight over it. Okay, cool. Dude, this thing is so gnarly. This thing sounds so good. All right, definitely do a throttle body upgrade. This is so sick. I am so happy. That labor was so worth it. That it was a nightmare. It was hell, and the outcome is totally worth it. All right, just do it. Just do it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and swap out the cars. I'm gonna bring the C7 home, and I'm gonna put the C8 in storage. That's another drive cycle, and then I gotta go get groceries and stuff like that, but I'm thinking I'm not gonna do that in the Corvette, I guess. But whatever. Point being, I'm gonna pick this up when I get home later tonight, and then I'll wrap everything up, okay? Yeah, so that was a lie. I'm gonna talk for a little bit longer. Dude, this thing is so much louder. It is so much more pleasurable being in Z mode. I mean, yeah, Z mode was the loudest setting, but before, I mean, I'm so used to my C7. My C7 is just obnoxiously, I missed the light. My C7 is obnoxiously loud. And so Z mode in this car was nothing. So yeah, now it's starting to get there. Sounds really good. I'm gonna do a cold start in the C7 just for fun, as soon as I get to the storage spot. And yeah, I mean, it's totally different. I just can't wait to get this as loud as the C7 because I love loud. I love loud. So yeah, it'll get there soon enough. But yeah, all right, I'll pick this up as soon as I'm gonna do the cold start. Even the idle now got a lot louder. I'm literally not doing anything, foot completely off the gas and everything, and now you can definitely feel the vibration, the rumble in your seat back a lot more. It's a nice low hum in here. So definitely improved that too. So, oh, I love this. All right, let's just turn on the other monster. You're not even going to be able to hear the C8 probably start up over the C7, or barely. Let's find out. Yeah, so I love my Z06. This thing is so much fun. And so, yeah, I definitely want the C8 as loud as this thing. This thing is gnarly. Oh, I love rowdy. That is so loud.
safely. And now time to get the boards and put this thing up. Once the other one gets lowered, I guess I'm gonna have to use the same boards because I don't think the lift feature is gonna really make too much of a difference with how low it's gonna be. But I don't know, we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when I get. Out for like a good at least like 30 to 45 minutes. It's gross. Luckily today I drove with the windows up, and so my shirt didn't absorb any of that fuel smell. But I mean, every single time I drive the car, primarily it's with the windows down. This is like the only time I've like driven it with the windows up. I rarely do. But yeah,
had to swap them for the new USB-C ones, but I didn't do that this time around, so I wasn't even able to charge my phone. I guess I gotta go inside, get them, and then put one in here, and then once I swap this thing out again, or once I swap cars, I got to remember to take the other one to the other vehicle, because otherwise this thing's just gonna, the phone, not this thing, the phone is gonna just deplete in battery. But I completely forgot to swap out the battery tenders as well. Let me show you the battery tender. This is the one that's got the C8. I've even got the C8 bag. So see? So technically, I guess this one obviously is supposed to be in the C8, and then the other one should be in here. So, I mean, for the purposes of literally them doing the exact same thing, I mean, why change them? I just wanted to show you on video. But honestly, I think I'm too lazy to swap them out. I mean, they serve the same purpose. So point being, at least now you know I wasn't lying. Luckily, I drove them enough this winter though that I don't remember even. I may have put this thing on a battery tender maybe for a day, but honestly, last winter I had it on the battery tender all the time. So this was definitely, I think, a more mild winter because I was driving this thing a lot more than normal. So yeah, so I didn't even taken it out of its little like secret cubby storage that is in the C7s there in the trunk, you know? So anyways, all right, let's continue. Yeah, so hanging out in the garage for those few minutes of me just showing you like the random things for the C7. Yeah, it's disgusting. The fuel smell is like, it's on my face, and like now I feel like it's in my shirt. So getting back to the throttle body, just do it. It is such an improvement. It's insane. You feel it instantly. You feel it the second you leave your driveway or wherever the heck you installed it. But yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it's so much peppier. It's instantaneous. No lag or anything like that. The input is immediate. So that is when you feel the difference immediately, and you're not having to guess like, is it different? Do I really feel a difference? You know, blah, blah, when you're like guessing. There's no guessing. That's how crazy it is. It's complete. What is happening? My cat is destroying. Hey, stop. Hey, that's my new cable. Stop. Go away. All right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, the throttle body is amazing. Okay. I guess the important part
after all this, because this is going to be one of my longest videos ever made or whatever. Just, I hope you enjoyed it at least. Like, my pain in the butt, I hope at least it was entertaining. But get this. So no check engine light whatsoever. The car cranked on beautifully, perfectly, no issues whatsoever. No hiccups or anything like that while driving. I mean, the vehicle relearned everything super quick. There were no issues whatsoever. I didn't feel a blip or anything. With the C7, the relearning procedure, now granted, I didn't follow a relearning procedure. I'll admit that. With the C7, I just bolted it on and I was just like, all right, let's go. Because I didn't read the instructions like that. I was just like, all right, this seems pretty basic, 4 bolts, blah, blah, blah. And there was much more room to work with on the C7, in the C7 engine bay, obviously. But yeah, so that one I did not follow instructions or anything. So maybe that's why I experienced a couple hiccups. And I was like, oh, well, it's relearning it or whatever. And it did. It sorted itself out. It smoothened out and everything. There was a little bit more of a rough idle at first and everything. And then it relearned everything. But with the C8, no issues whatsoever. So perhaps it's because I followed the instructions, or I don't know, newer technology, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so that's wonderful. That's the best news you can get, right? When you install a part and you have absolutely no issues and it runs beautifully and everything like that. And so I decided to save the best information for last, but I'm going to put this at the very beginning of the video. So then that way you can just get right down to the main point of this. All right, look. So here it is. Here's the information. All right. If you are upgrading from the stock 87 millimeter throttle body to, I guess, a 91, I didn't even know that it existed, but they do. So a 91 millimeter throttle body, you don't need, I don't think you need an adapter. I think the 87 is ported out to a 91. If I'm seeing the videos correctly that I've seen online. If that's the case, if the throttle body upgrade that you are doing does not require an adapter plate, right? Okay, so if it doesn't require that adapter plate, you can go ahead and do the airbox removal. Okay, so throttle body upgrade with no adapter plate, go ahead and do the airbox removal. You can access everything from that side. Okay. That'll be easier, right? You don't have to worry about taking off the intake manifold or anything like that. If you are doing a throttle body upgrade and you have an adapter plate, leave the box alone. Leave the box in place. You don't have to do anything with the trunk, none of that. Just go straight to the intake manifold, take the intake manifold off, and then install everything and just I was gonna say wedge it, sandwich it, but not. Yeah, wedge it. I mean, I guess wedge it and put it back onto the back of the airbox, just the way you guys saw. So yeah, like I said, once again, with an adapter plate. If you need an adapter plate with your install, then just do the manifold way, the second way that I did it, because I did both, and so now I know how much of a pain both are. However. The manifold way is so much faster than the airbox. Yes. Do I believe me? Do I believe myself right now? Yes, I do. Yes. All right. Definitely just do that. I will choose. Wait a minute. I'm thinking about how hard it was to jam it back in. Like when it was wedged up against that rear glass. Both equally suck. Both are equally difficult. I'm not gonna say I prefer the manifold way over the airbox way. Yeah. Until I remember that one bit where I had to just all my might, like just bash it in. Yeah, that sucked. It all sucked. This whole process was horrible. Like this was a difficult install. Like this was horrible. But yeah, it's so worth it in the end. All right. So, all right, there you go. There's my Odyssey. So I feel like this video is going to be so long. I'm so sorry. I hope you enjoy it though. But all right, so there you go. That was the install. Everything is great. It sounds epic. Do it. You're going to love it. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. So if you like that video, go ahead and click that like button, hit subscribe, and peace.